Hello everyone and welcome to D&D News. I am Greg Tito and I'm here to tell you everything about what's going on in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. I'm excited to be here. I am into the fall. I want fall to be a year-round thing, except that would not be as fun because it wouldn't be a surprise when it starts happening around this time, and we all like change a little bit. So maybe that fall would not be all the time, but it is my favorite season. It is what I enjoy. Cold weather, rainy stuff coming out of the clouds, gray leaves smelling nice as they fall, and ravens, lots of crows. At least maybe that's just true here in the Seattle area around this time. Lots of crows coming at you, eating your face. Very, very fun time for everyone. Lots of hot mugs of coffee and warm cider and deliciousness. Apple pie. What's more American than apple pie? Or storytelling because nothing says Dungeons and Dragons like apple pie. That's not true. None of those things are true. I am in honor of fall. I've still got the tag right here. But I'm wearing this new sweatshirt. This sweatshirt is available nowhere, but it may be available soon in a store called Fuego. It is not En Fuego. It is just Fuego-y. And it is very warm. It is a beautiful sweatshirt. I really like the feel of it. It reminds me of the red hooded sweatshirt that I also wear sometimes that has a D&D ampersand right here. But this has the whole red box thing, as well as a translation right about here. I know how images work. This is how you read. So yeah, look for this coming out soon. If it looks like it is something in your wheelhouse, pick it up. It'll be at Fuego stores, I'm told, in the next month or so. Those stores are in malls, so I don't know if there's an online presence yet where you'll be able to get them. But if I find out about that, I will be dropping links to you guys. But I just got them today, and I wanted to throw it off. So that's it. I'll be going over some more things in the D&D Press. I actually have some physical press to show you in Tabletop Gaming Monthly. It's the UK magazine. We've got some stuff in there, and I also want to show you some real products. I think I gave you a sneak peek of all of the cards that are in this amazing thing, Dungeon Mayhem, the expansion pack for Battle for Baldur's Gate. I'll also be opening up some blind boxes, some more of these bag clips, which I think are really awesome. I haven't gotten the one that I want yet, so I'm still looking for it, and I will be continuing my search in finding the Acererak or the Demogorgon in here that I think is very, very cool, which I have not yet seen. So hopefully that happens. But before we do all that, before I go through all the news and talk about what's happening for the Adventurers League as well as the Dungeon Masters Guild, I wanted to show you guys something really special. I talked about this on Twitter just now. But I received a very, very nice gift from my friend Lee Goldberg from the Dan Cakes organization. They have been coming to some D&D events in the past. They create artwork from pancakes. And while me just saying that out loud might seem strange to you if you've never seen any of the images, but what they're able to do is astounding. And this one is by Mr. Lee Goldberg, and it is, I won't tell you exactly what it is, but here, just take a look. Snarl! That is the Snarling Sahuagin from the alternate cover edition of Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and I wanted to call up the real cover so that you can see what it looks like. I don't have it kind of quite side-by-side looking graphic here, but that was the actual cover there on the right for the alternate cover for Ghosts of Saltmarsh. Here's the pancake version, and you can almost not even tell the difference. It's so good. It is made all with colored dough, food coloring and dough cooked on a griddle. They do it all kind of backwards, and there's this amazing reveal that happens where they take the spatula, work it all around, and then they flip it over, and you're like, what? How did that become looking this great? And this one came out really, really awesome. As Lee is saying here in the chat here, it took him 1 hour and 40 minutes to draw and he was happy enough to preserve it under this polyurethane. I think it was a genius idea to try to preserve it this way. It looks great. I can't wait to hang it somewhere here in the Wizard's office. We got to find a good place for it. And Lee was nice enough to give this to me at TwitchCon last weekend. Was that really just the weekend before last? Yeah, that was. Time is an illusion. Lunchtime, doubly so. And that's why I'm going to have to eat this pancake now, because I'm hungry. I love you. I love you, Suhu, again. You're so cute. Mwah. Thank you, Lee, for this. This is amazing. And if anybody's looking for a really fun activity to do at your next event or party or some kind of corporate shindig, I think you should look into Dan Cakes. They do something that's really original and fun, and everybody seems to get a really great kick out of it, and I think you will too. So make it happen. Go talk to Dan Cakes. Tell Lee Goldberg I sent you there, if that makes any sense, for all of you corporate event bookers who are watching this right now. Awesome. TwitchCon was a lot of fun. We had a breakfast event, which was really, really enjoyable. We all wore these crowns. It was a joint event with our friends on the Magic side. They were celebrating the Throne of Eldraine set release that had just come out that weekend, and it was full of medieval storytelling and things going on, so it dovetailed really nicely with everything that goes on in the Dungeons & Dragons world. I wore a crown of flowers and berries that worked really well with my whole shtick, and so I wore it all day, including at the panel that we had, which was all about building communities with Dungeons & Dragons and Magic. If you haven't got a chance to watch that, I think you should. It was tons of fun. Great people on there from all kinds of disciplines, from the streaming side, from me and Michelle Sutterfield from the brand side of things, and it was really enlightening. A lot of fun, good conversation was had, and I think the crowns were on point throughout that entire panel. So watch that. I believe the video on demand is available for that on twitch.tv/give please. I don't know where they're aggregating all that, but it is out there, and it was tons of fun. Boost the sound a little. Let me see. I don't know if I can do it this way, but I'm going to try to boost the sound. Did that make it better? Maybe I'll just talk louder. I don't know how to... Wait, maybe I can do it here. I'm doing stuff on the fly. Does that make it better? Is that better? Is that better? That's slightly better? Okay, good. Let me know, Hannah, if that fixed everything that's going on there. All right. Oh, I saw a yes. Thank you, Spacepaw. You're a good person. Better? Okay, good. Everyone says that you can hear, and that is good for me. Yay. Only a little better. Should I make it louder? Is that what you're trying to tell me? All right, I think I figured out how to do it. All right, that's it. Let's go on with the show, shall we? And we will make everything work out good. So, Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus is out there. It is in the wild. People are digging through it. I am trying not to spoil myself because I will be joining a campaign. I did up it a little bit already. Okay. So hopefully it doesn't blow people out. Blow people out! Okay, good. I just did it. And the word is on the street that everyone is enjoying going into Avernus, feeling through all of the fun things that are happening in Baldur's Gate. I've seen a lot of lore threads go around the interwebs in recent days, and I am here for it. I love all that stuff. I love people jumping in and seeing where they can go with it. Again, I don't want to get too bogged down in the details of reading that book, so I haven't jumped into it, at least right now, and I can't wait for me to discover all of the secrets that are going on there with my DM. So look for that if you are interested. And along with it is the Dice and Miscellany set that we've heard a lot of great things about. It's a good companion piece to purchasing the adventure, especially if you're not going to be the DM for the adventure. You certainly can jump in and get the dice set and enjoy it while you are slinging dice in Baldur's Gate. There was the Mayhem expansion, Dungeon Mayhem expansion, which also involves two characters from the Baldur's Gate kind of continuum of storytelling. Jaheira the Bard. She is a shapeshifter, so she's got some cards that have to do with wolf form or cat form or bear form. And Minsk and Boo make an appearance in this. So there's 2 character decks in here. They are fully integratable with the original Dungeon Mayhem. So there's a total of 6 characters available. Don't let Shelly Moo tell you this or hear about this, but I think you can play with 6 players now. You just got to figure out a little bit of house ruling on targeting and things like that. But there's 6 characters available with Dungeon Mayhem, and you can totally jump in and play with a little bit bigger of a multiplayer focus if that is your jam. There is also Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons comic book. Volume 2 has begun. It's a new story arc that's written by Jim Zub. There is a single issue available right now with more to come. Look for it. I think it's a really interesting take on what's happening in the world of Dungeons & Dragons, as I said. And it's a great way to get primed for the Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty tabletop adventure game set thingy that is coming November 19th. It is going to be a box set. Ooh, I should have brought the actual physical. I have the physical thing. We'll do that in the weeks to come because we got our proof copy of this. But it's a boxed set that has everything in it that you need to play Dungeons & Dragons. It's all themed very specifically with D&D and Rick and Morty stuff. So if you're a fan of either brand, you don't have to be a fan of both brands, but if you're a fan of either brand, there'll be a lot to enjoy within it. I have not actually played anything from that, but I've heard from playtesters that there was nothing but real tears coming out of them from the laughter that the game induced. So that is a good sign. That's a good big thumbs up from everybody. And I can't wait for more folks to get it. We'll be doing a few events touting how awesome it will be in the next month or so. So look out for that. Another big thing I want to let everyone know, we are going to Lucca Comics and Games. Everyone in Italy knows about Lucca Comics and Games, but not everybody here who's listening to this might know what it is. It is the largest Comic-Con type convention within the European continent. So there's Gamescom, there's a couple other big events in Europe that focus on nerddom, but Lucca is original or singular because it is in a single walled medieval city in Lucca, Italy, and they take over the whole city. The whole thing turns into basically a Comic-Con type convention. There's booths and lots of other things going on. Dungeons & Dragons is going to be there. And it's going to be great. There is a D&D Epics will be going on in a actual dungeon in the walled city of Lucca that's going on. There will also be tons of activations that you can do that will be all about Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. The content for that is called Devil Deals, where there'll be people doing activities throughout the entire city and then going back to confront a devil at the end. In the same area where the D&D Epics are going to be played. There are going to be a bunch of live games going on that will be streamed live, so that's where folks who are not going to be able to travel to Lucca, Italy will be able to watch. Mark Humes from the High Rollers will be dungeon mastering one of those sessions. Joe Manganello, Death Save's co-founder and actor-producer extraordinaire, will be performing in some of those things, or is very likely to be performing in some of those live stream sessions. Bill Benham from the D&D team, Richard Witters from the D&D team will be there leading and participating in panels and embracing the Italian and European Union community for being a part of the Dungeons & Dragons. So we can't wait. We're extending our love of this game and fantasy storytelling framework that it provides to fans, to everyone around the world. And Lucca is going to be one of those big first steps in making sure we high-five fans all along the way and make things happen. So if you are in the European continent or haven't yet purchased tickets to go to Lucca, go there, check it out, see what the D&D thing is going to be, and report back. I can't wait to hear how you enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully be going to more events both in Europe and in other parts of the world going forward. If you're looking for more information on that, I think Hannah Wild Rosemaid's already put it in the chat, but it is at D&D. That's not a touch screen. I just tried to scroll on a thing that's not a touch screen. That's how That's how in touch I am. dnd.wizards.com/articles/events/Luca. And Luca is spelled Lucca. Check it out there if you are interested. All right. I'm going the wrong way. That is going to be fun. Everyone's going to have tons of fun there. We also have friends doing something in Brazil that I wanted to shout out. So Galapagos Hogos is a distributor as well as a translator of, or they're working with publishing the translation for Portuguese, the Portuguese version of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. It will be on sale, or at least the 3 core rulebooks will be on sale starting on October 24th. So Brazilian fans, folks who use Portuguese as a first language, that's your chance to get some hardcover versions of Dungeons & Dragons using translation. It's always difficult to translate Dungeons & Dragons that has so many proper names and made up words and words that don't necessarily have a direct translatable version in Portuguese or other languages. So, there might be some quibbles on each individual word that's in there, but we're really excited about the work that's been done in making this accessible for folks in all types of different languages all over the world. I'll be giving some more information on that in D&D news is to come, but wanted to give a quick shout out to everybody in the Portuguese community and the Brazil community that you are a big part of this D&D community as well. There's been a lot of great artwork coming from that whole entire community. Claudio Pausas, who they've had on Dragon Talk, contributed a lot of the stained glass kind of approaches that are in the Baldur's Gate Battle for Avernus. That's not even close to what the title is, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. And he is a member of the Brazilian community down there, and so high fives to everyone. And I hope more folks can jump in now that there is a Portuguese version available. Okay. So I feel like there's one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I forget what it was before I wanted to move on to things in the press. I mentioned that. All right. Well, one thing I wanted to highlight, which I wasn't able to do before, was an amazing video that was created by my friend John Borba from IGN. He was recording videos and interviews over the last 6 months with tons of Dungeons & Dragons creators and luminaries, and he put together a video that I think is really amazing. Here, this is their article headline: Dungeons & Dragons creators and celebrity players explain its recent surge in popularity. Coming face to face with your friends to enjoy a wholly unique experience is giving people something they've been desperately missing. That's a quote from that video. Definitely worth spending 20 minutes checking out that video. There are tons of folks you'll recognize from D&D Live to different parts of the world, all type of creators, including folks like the Russo brothers, who created Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, and all of the above. Not to mention some of the creators. I think D.B. Weiss, Dan and Dave from Game of Thrones are mentioned in there, and or talked about. So yeah, there is a lot of wealth of thing, and it's a wonderful way to really understand why there's been this huge surge in people wanting to roll dice and pretend to be adventurers and heroes. There is a lot that you can gain from it, and seeing some of the creative people that are making the marquee entertainment pieces for all of our culture right now, extolling the virtues of playing Dungeons and Dragons, is pretty awesome. I think even the Russo brothers at one point in there said, if you want to make films, play D&D. And I can't think of a better endorsement than that. If you are a creative person, you should be out there improvising some storytelling with your friends around a table. And I think that's pretty cool. So that's that. I also wanted to shout out Paste, who posted a wonderful review of Dungeons & Dragons, Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. I'm checking to see who the author is, because for some reason... Oh, yeah, this is from Cameron Kunzelman. Great writer, good friend. Descent into Avernus is a classic smashing together of the sword and spells logic of a fantasy world and the straight up bizarro weirdness of devils and demons and all kinds of other hell stuff. It is, in a word, good. Great stuff. I love any kind of extolling of the of our products, but that means a lot coming from Cameron. He is a well documented critic of all types of pop culture and stuff out there. But he, I think really nailed what makes this adventure really interesting, and it is the bizarro weirdness combined with everything that you love about the D&D tropes of fantasy storytelling. So, good stuff. Read that article if you're interested to find out about more about Cameron's opinions there. Also wanted to, we mentioned how Death Saves is most likely going to be at Luca for fans to be able to purchase stuff there. But they also recently came out with a new t-shirt. Perhaps interesting that you can see in the bottom left there, this is from Pop Insider magazine, and they have that little blurb down the bottom left. Attack the Darkness. See, there's a D&D reference, as well as the kids in satanic RPG horror. Talking about Death Saves, caters to hardcore Dungeons & Dragons fans who grew up battling monsters and dodging witch hunts from people who said the game was full of evil and occult. The streetwear company puts the heavy metal feel back into the brand with hats, tops, accessories, and jewelry-inspired things of all things D&D. Not too often, well, I guess more often now, that Dungeons & Dragons is being touted in the pages of Pop Insider, but interesting stuff going around there. There was also this amazing graphic, which I saw making the rounds on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and I feel a little bit, justified since I do live on caffeine, and I mainly communicate by ranting to you, and I often don't know what day it is, so I'm definitely a wizard. So which class are you? I feel a little bit seen here from a lot of these folks, but I love it. I love all these, and I think people couldn't resist putting in their thoughts. For like, this is who I am, this is me. I loved it a lot. So good stuff. Happy Wednesday, D&D Gesture. Do you know that it's Tuesday? Oh, this must be Thursday. I never could get the hang of Thursdays. Right. For everyone, I mentioned D&D at Luca. We are, I think I forgot to mention dates. That was silly of me. It is October 31st through November 3rd in Lucca, Italy. You'll be able to hopefully participate in the Devil Deals activity if you are going there. If you are, you must register ahead of time. So it's in the first link about Lucca that's in there with streaming schedules and all that things that are going on. But there's also an Eventbrite link that you can use to make that things happen. I need a towel. Definitely need a towel. I always know where my towel is. It's over there, Lauren, if that's what you're trying to go for. Oh, I forgot about the one other thing that I wanted to mention, which is really cool. So here, let me call it up so I don't do anything that is untoward. That's how you pronounce untoward when you're trying to stall for time. Okay. So this is really cool. We had an interview on Dragon Talk on the Twitch channel. Gosh, it was about more than a month ago with Jess Dempsey and Joey Iovino about their group called Dots RPG, where they are creating Braille dice and other materials, including Braille printed RPG books for the visually impaired. They're a nonprofit organization. They are doing it just out of the love of wanting to make D&D accessible to folks who might have impairments that don't allow them to access the content in book form or be able to play the game. But they're doing it. They're making it happen, and I'm happy to say that they now have an agreement to be able to produce Dungeons and Dragons material in Braille form. So look for that. They are a great non-for-profit. It's called Dots RPGs. They tweeted about it just a little while ago, and so jump in and give them some support if you are interested in making D&D more accessible, as we all are. So good stuff there. We'll get more details on how that is all about, but it's very exciting news as of today. So that's what this show's all about, is news. D&D news, people. We did their interview on Twitch, but we'll be releasing that episode live on the Dragon Talk RSS feed in 2 days, I believe. We'll actually be recording some new intros and outros for that right after I finish this. So look for that on Thursday. And speaking of Dragon Talk, we have a really great guest this Friday. We'll be live streaming starting at 12 noon with me and Shelly Mazzanoble doing our intros. And then at 1 p.m., we are going to speak to Rhett Miller, lead singer, frontman of Old 97s, the Old 97s band. And I am interested to find out and pick his brain. We haven't spoken to a musician here for a long time, but my Baldur's Gate Descent to Avernus character is going to be a bard in the glam rock, early hair metal bent. So I can't wait to pick his brain about what it's like to be a D&D rock star. Or just what it's like to play D&D while he's on the road. He DMs for people while he's traveling. He's got a really creative group of folks who he plays with in New York City when he's not on tour. And he's got tons of other stuff to talk about, including his new podcast. So excited for that. Tune in if you can at 1 p.m. Pacific time on twitch.tv/DND to watch that interview live with Rhett Miller. And then that episode will go on the RSS feed next week. So that'll be pretty exciting. All right. How are you all doing? I feel like I've been talking a mile a minute. You know what it is? Almost time for D&D Rewind. So yeah, let me get that all ready and cue that up. So D&D Rewind is the video in the middle of this here show where we highlight some of the best role-playing moments, funniest, most dramatic, most heartfelt moments from many of the D&D live play shows that we highlight on the twitch.tv/DND channel. There are tons of great shows, and we know that it's kind of hard to watch all of them, so this is a way for us to give you some previews, maybe find one that you might want to latch onto and follow the story along, or just be entertained by all of the highlights of the breadth of D&D content that is available here on this Twitch channel, as well as all over the interweb. So without going too far into introducing it, let's just go ahead and play this week's D&D Rewind.
And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Woo!
Wow.
Wow, we lived. I mean,
What an episode.
We'll see what happens next week.
Oh, we
I mean,
have
that was pretty-
so much.
It was pretty close to a TPK.
I would
since
say
3 members of the party were at 0 hit points at least at one point.
I will say that even like to end the session with, I think that knowing that they're knocked out, Velma's not going to keep driving to that wasp thing, and she would turn to go in the other direction. So just to end that, like I would say like we'll come back for you, Lulu, and then I keep going in her way. Because I'm not going to begin next week with 2 unconscious characters driving towards a death trap. Like that just doesn't seem like a smart idea.
Well, that was a lot.
And on the inside of the locker, you see a photograph of Scoops, and he has his arm around a redheaded like an angel, and she looks really uncomfortable. And it's clear that the two of them are at some kind of like fan meetup or something. She has like beautiful gold armor with the Boros sigil, and he's like smiling and like got his whole arm around her, and she's just standing there like, okay, cool, this is happening.
Okay, so this is Scoops' locker?
You are in Scoops' locker, yes.
Do I have like a free action? Can I do a free action?
What do you want to do?
I want to poop in this locker.
Okay, good. I like that
pooping a free action.
Your reaction to like
it might take more than 6 seconds.
I'm in Scoops' locker. Wait a second.
Not when I'm stuck in Scoops' locker.
We just we pan away, we fade away to the sound, and in fact fade to break on the sound of like a belt buckle jingling as you giggle and like start like shimmying out of your pants. Perfect. Excellent.
Lazarus either? What?
Okay.
Is Lazarus an aboleth? Sorry, keep going.
Lazarus is Lazarus is 6 aboleths inside of a trench coat.
Yes.
You just spud. I hope
The-
spud stacked up in front of your
And then you asked my question, it's just been a wobbling tentacle. There we go,
Everybody failed your perception check when you met Lazarus. Otherwise, you would have known.
welching along under this tentacle the entire time with a big hat.
He's like, oh, I thought we were all wearing minor illusion. I thought that's
Oh,
what
we're not all aboleth.
Octodad situation. He's just a normal.
Yeah, it's Octodad. He just like Zoidbergs away at the end of the adventure. He's like, oh yeah, nobody's been murdering anybody here.
Don't worry about it.
Poetry and match, my flow is absurd. Don't believe me, Octobird is the word. Some of my haters may call me a liar. Who are the 5 best bards ever? Perrin, 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 and Perrin. 'Cause I spit hot fire. Power up. You gotta power up. We gotta power up. Let's all power up. My name is PU and I'm gonna power up. Power up. You gotta power up. We gotta power up. Let's all power up. My name is PU and I'm gonna power up.
Yeah! So good!
Actually, I think it still has to try to hit me before I take death saving throws, before I fail.
It does hit you, though. And it does another 20 points of bludgeoning damage.
That's 2 failures.
Orkira, you have no turn. Because you are completely unconscious.
Do I make a death saving throw?
Yeah, go and make a death saving throw.
Okay. Hey everybody, do you think I might
+4 to this saving throw still?
I might die right now?
Don't die.
No, is this
+4.
We're seeing this moment? Come on!
I know, I used already. I used both of them.
Oh my god. 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 It's a natural 20. I don't know if you can see that. I just rolled a natural 20.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. I completely messed up the camera, but I'm like, no one's gonna believe this that I just rolled a natural 20 of this.
Oh my god. Talk about a legendary action.
So I go unconscious, and I'm sitting on the side of a volcano next to the Phoenix, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really blame it for coming after me. I mean, it's gonna and then I'm awake again with 1 hit point.
Yes.
Even in death, man. Oh, you're so humble.
That was intense. Wah! That is visual storytelling to a T. I don't know if you guys know that, but I sometimes can't listen to the audio for the D&D Rewind when I'm playing it here. So, yeah, it was hot, by the way. So I was all just following along just visually to everything that was happening over there. And, first up, all of the amazing stuff in all the shows leading up to this. But then, the rap by Perrin Underbow was extremely awesome. I could tell he was doing that immediately. And then they're like, oh, yeah, that's what this is. And then all of the stress that was going on in Heroes from the Veil was palpable without even any audio. I just was like, oh, no, things are going to happen. It's going to happen. And then the visual story led to her being able to be like, look at what's happening with the 20 that I just rolled. Everything is fine. Good stuff. Way to make that death save happen, Lauren. Crazy. Yes, I was sweating. I was debating to myself how long I was going to last with not just 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, especially as I was drinking hot coffee all at the same time. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry, guys. Just to recap for people who are joining now, this sweatshirt is going to be available soon. It is the red box. It is bright red. It will be available at a store called Fuego, I believe. I'm not sure exactly when, but I'm just modeling it off out there for people to jump in and grab it if they can. It's the time. It's the weather. It's now is the time. Let's get into talk about Adventurers Leagues. The Adventurers League is D&D's official play campaign, which means that you can create an AL character and play with it anywhere that an AL event is being run, whether that's at a convention or your local game store or in the back of a Volkswagen Bug. Wherever you're playing Dungeons & Dragons with Adventurers League, you can jump in and find a game that makes a lot of sense for your power level. Adventurers League news, these were written up from last week, and I didn't get a chance to use them because we had to cancel D&D news, so I'm using them now. The D&D Adventurers League is celebrating Liar's Night for the entire month of October. You can earn candy corn for every hour you play Adventurers League this month and exchange your candy corn for fun holiday prizes such as a magical Lemure onesie. That sounds pretty cool. A giant spider mount. Or a dread helm that looks like a flame skull. Green flame. You should keep an eye on the Adventurers League website and social media pages because each week there'll be more wandering monsters you can insert into any adventure to earn more Liar's Night candy corn and just have some spoopy fun. You can find out all the details at dndadventurersleague.org, including a handout that you can print for your local game night. So jump in. These kind of promotions have been really popular, and I love the idea of getting kind of cosmetic and fun rewards for participating in them. I think it's awesome. So jump in if you can. And I want to show off some amazing photos. These come in from Conquest 2019 in the Philippines. These are a quote. What a feat! 250 adventurers in 2 days. First to run Open 2019 and Season 9 Epic in Manila, Philippines, in Asia. And that's from the League of Extraordinary Best Friends. Me and at the LOE Best Friends, that's their Twitter handle, I suppose, recently concluded Conquest 2019, where Arkan made an appearance as an NPC in Avernus. Here's my crossplay for the big event. Fane Eater did get Budley. Hail Tiamat! All right, so that's a little bit more as to what this is all about. This is crossplay of Arkan cosplay, which is pretty fantastic looking. Shout out to Lean on Lin for creating this awesome cosplay. And what a great number of people participating in this event in the Philippines, in Manila. Shout out to the lady in front doing a split. Yeah! That's the kind of amazingness we want to see in more D&D events going forward. So, awesome. Good stuff. So the Dungeon Masters Guild. DungeonMastersGuild.com lets you publish your Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition creations for tons of fun and hopefully some profit into your pocket. It's the only platform where you can publish adventures and supplements with the Forgotten Realms, Ravenloft, Ravnica, and other Windows settings. We'll just go with Windows settings. Don't at me, Microsoft. So some news for the Dungeon Masters Guild in October. The DMs Guild community creators are getting spooky. If you're looking for horrifying Halloween adventures this month, check out this one. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. It is in the theme horror filter on DMs Guild. There's tons of one-shot adventures, but one we want to throw out there is this one. Weekend at Strahd's. That's written... I'm dying. I'm just like Strahd. This is by Anthony Joyce and Oliver Clegg. You might have seen Oliver Clegg playing in some amazing fun stuff in the D&D Rewind that was just playing. But here is the quote. Whoa! You've just killed Strahd, but his body remains. How can this be? Lead your party on a retro journey through Castle Ravenloft to collect 5 pieces of a powerful artifact known as the Pentaforce, to summon a powerful entity that can put an end to Strahd's reign once and for all. One player in this plays as Strahd's corpse. Yes, you read that correctly. You can play as the entire time as the corpse of Strahd, and it's a way to make sure everyone knows that nothing's happening. Good stuff. Really interesting way and a take on all of what's going on in the Dungeon Masters Guild. Really creative. Using stuff like Barovia, but in a new and interesting way. Retro, referencing old time movies. I just called Weekend at Bernie's an old timey movie. Yeah, it's old timey. I guess that's true. All right, check it out if you're interested. Really fun and a great, and I want to give them high fives for coming up with that crazy idea because it works. It really does work. One other fun thing I wanted to talk about was the actual physical media here of tabletop gaming. As I said, this is a magazine that's published in the UK, all about tabletop games. The cover is, of course, about what's going on with the Throne of Eldraine magic set, but here is a full-page spread featuring an interview with Chris Perkins, lead writer on Curse of Strahd, and how the vampiric villains and delightful dread of Ravenloft and Curse of Strahd helped the RPG's adventurers discover a dark side. So really great insight in there from Chris, as always, about what it's like to do. There's also a bit in here about Betrayal at House on the Hill, which is a very D&D-like tabletop game if you're not interested in it. If you haven't heard of it. And then the other thing I want to point out is something that is always very cool. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I like showing it in physical. The Dungeons & Dragons Essentials kit got a Tabletop Gaming Must Play award, which seems pretty awesome. So shout out to folks in the UK. Try to pick up Tabletop Gaming magazine, and you'll get a great primer on what's happening in the world of board games and other tabletop games, but you also get some insight from Chris Perkins and what's going on for the Essentials kit all around. So I like it. I want more magazines to be going on. I wanted to also highlight Extra Life. We are participating again. Extra Life 2019. It is going to be the 7th year that Dungeons & Dragons has raised money for the kids. All of it, all the money that we have gotten, which is more than $500,000 over the last 6 years. We're hoping to do a lot more in this 7th year. All goes towards Seattle Children's Hospital. It is a part of the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. In fact, your donations don't have to go to Seattle Children's. You can have them go to wherever you like within that network. Tons of people on the D&D team have put up pages, myself included, for ways that you can donate to our cause. The ones that I put up there are more Dragon Talk related. You will see a few things in there. You'll be able to be a live guest on Dragon Talk for, I believe, $2,500. For $1,000 donation, I will call in with you and do a interview through the interwebs. And just for $100, I will read aloud any 100-word message you want within reason. I'm not going to say anything I would never say, but if you want to give shout outs or talk about some in-jokes or do some fun stuff, that's a great way to do it, and I will read it aloud on one of our live streams for Dragon Talk on Fridays from 12 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. I've already gotten 2 big donations for guests to come into the office to be Dragon Talk guests, which is more than I thought I was going to get, so that's really exciting. And I can't wait to meet those people face to face and thank them so much for their very kind donation for the kids. And there are tons of other ways that you can participate with us. Nathan Stewart, my boss, VP of Dungeons & Dragons, that's Vice President, in case you were wondering. He just put up a whole bunch of rewards that you can donate to his page for. Chris Lindsay, Bart Carroll, The AL admins, so the Adventures League admins, Alan Patrick and Greg Marks, do amazing work in raising tons of money for this. So go check out their pages and see if there's anything that you would want to contribute to. And then if you want to be able to get a cool t-shirt, not this one, even though this is one of my faves, very fall-like, this one. There are t-shirts and other things that you can purchase at Custom Ink with designs by Emi Tanji, some of which feature a Hollyphant, Lulu from Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, or Jezebel the Quasit, and some other fun stuff, including slobber chops. So jump in, see what you can get, and that will be pretty darn cool. D&D Jester, yes, that's why I've been breathing deep of the pumpkin spice flavors from this delicious Beholder shirt. Dragon Plus is a wonderful app that you can download for your phone. It's available on iOS. I'm going to do this like 3 more times and break something. iOS and Android. The app has been kind of rebuilt recently, so the most recent issues are available there, and there's a new one that just came out with tons of great stuff about Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus, so check it out if you can. There is all that content is also available on dragonmag.com. They're rebuilding the archives slowly over time, so issues 3 through 25 will be rebuilt slowly over time, but go back and check out some of the older stuff, because now is the perfect time to start getting into things that we were releasing a long time ago, because Tyranny of Dragons is coming out very soon. What is Tyranny of Dragons, you might ask? Well, it is a book. It's the adventure Tyranny of Dragons, which was the launch adventure or story path from D&D 5th edition in 2014. It was originally issued in 2 volumes. The first was called Horde of the Dragon Queen. The second was called The Rise of Tiamat. We are taking those 2 adventures, smushing them together, and not repurposing some of the things. There's no 2 table of contents or things like that. There's only going to be a single table of contents, single appendices with great stuff that you were only previously available to get online. So some feats and spells and magic items and things that were only published online at the time are included in this reissue. There's also some editing done to the encounters and structure of the adventurer to make it a little bit easier to go through. I don't want to say structure. It was really just in some of the encounters, some of the numbers of folks were changed, and things made a little bit easier for first-time players starting at first or second level. There's also, and this is one of the reasons why it's super desirable to fans who may have already played this adventure, but there's an appendix at the end that it's a gallery, and it's a big gallery. I think, it's between 16 and 32 pages of never before seen concept art for D&D 5th edition, as well as dragons and how they were visualized in this edition. So that's only available in this new tome, Tyranny of Dragons. It will only be available through game stores. It's got a fantastic looking cover, which I can show you right here. This is the cover. That's it. Tiamat, 5 heads in all of its glory. This is coming out October 22nd, 2019. Again, it's only in game stores. So go into your local area, tell them, I want this book, and they will have to give it to you. It's the law. And tell them Greg Tito sent you. It's the only way you can make it happen. But I love it. It looks gorgeous. I actually saw one of these physically in the office also, so I got to make sure and bring those in next week and the following week to make sure that you guys get to see it hands-on, just like I do, because it's pretty darn cool. As I said, it's a good way to go back and see where we were for 5th edition, because we're also celebrating 5 years of 5th edition. Hard to believe. I've only been working here for 4.5 years. So I came in about 6 months after Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition was released, and it's still bizarro for me to believe that much time has passed. It's been great. So many more people have come into the hobby just in these last 5 years. So it's really interesting, I think, to go back and look at that launch and see how it was received, and some of the content out there that might not have been front and center for fans who have gotten in, say, during Curse of Strahd or during Tomb of Annihilation, to be able to go back and look at all that. And what's cool about the Tyranny of Dragons storyline is that it focuses on dragons. Duh, it's in the title. But a lot of the encounters and storytelling possibilities all center around playing dragons really well. And I think that's something that we haven't really revisited in another Dungeons and Dragons adventure. That's one good thing that I think 5th edition does well, is going from different place to different location to different feeling adventures. We're in Baldur's Gate and Hell for this one. Very different feel from Waterdeep, even though that was a city-based adventure. This is, also a city-based adventure in Baldur's Gate, but feels completely different. And that's also very different from Port-Nine Zaru and Chult and what was happening with Tomb of Annihilation, which is also very different from what's happening with Storm King's Thunder, Out of the Abyss, so on and so forth. I can't wait for fans who may have gotten in, as I said later, to check out Tyranny of Dragons and maybe start playing it again. I was actually thinking about getting my group together from the online publication that I used to work for and seeing if they'd be interested in picking up where we left off, because we all got laid off, so we weren't able to finish that campaign. But maybe that can happen. It can happen now. I don't know. John Bolding, I might be sending an email to you soon. Let's see if we can make that work. One other final thing I wanted to shout out was Unearthed Arcana. There is a new one available right now that you can download. There is really amazing, interesting stuff going on in it. The Cleric, Druid, and Wizard get some new subclasses that we would love your feedback on. They all seem really interesting to me. The Cleric gets the divine domain of Twilight. I like Twilight. I like Dusk. Not the vampire movies, but I like Twilight. I like what's happening there. So get interested in that. The new Druid Circle, the Circle of Wildfire, is very interesting because it approaches wildfires not as inherently bad or evil, but just as a normal cycle and part of life. And having a druid that burns really sounds pretty cool. So jump into it. And then the Wizard Arcane tradition of Onomancy, which is the power of naming. Being able to use a creature's true name has power. I mean, that's a huge fantasy trope that we have not really mechanically jumped into very much. So I'd be really interested to see how that is pulled off in this Unearthed Arcana. So download that. The Bard and Paladin subclasses is also still available. You can take the survey for that. That goes into the College of Eloquence for the Bard and the Oath of Heroism for the Paladin. And as we learned from the release of D&D Next's playtest leading up to the release of Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, your feedback is really, really important. So spread the word. Get everyone out there downloading these subclasses, letting us know what you think. Respond in those surveys, and you can really shape where the D&D hobby goes, or at least what's published in our books from that way. So do it. Make it happen. I was just trying to parse what you were saying, the grape Houdini, but yes, the Elder Scrolls, Flame Atronachs, Fire Druid, Spirits, Appearances. Yes, a lot of possessive adjectives in there. But, you're cool. You're cool. All right. Oh, I forgot to open up. All right, so I'll end out with opening this up. There's no Pelham's Hot Mess today, in case I forgot to mention that earlier. We'll be back with some other fun programming in this slot at some point. We're working hard on it. We've got some irons in the fire for all of that. But in the meantime, you've got these 2 hours off. So we will shout out giving these. So these are box tops. They come in a box tops. They're not box tops. I don't know why I said box tops. But they come in a box like this. These are bag clips, and you can get one of those like this. They're blind, so you don't necessarily know which one you're going to get. I've been trying to get the Demogorgon there. I've never seen the Demogorgon, and there's also a few exclusive ones that I can't wait to get. I think I've gotten this one before. This is from the was it the Dungeon Master's Guide, or the Player's Handbook, where it was the statue where they're trying to pry out the jewel eye. I think that's what that is there. So these are really interesting and fun, and I've got them on my bag, and I'm hopefully you get to see what I pull here and it makes it fun. You can get these at Hot Topic in malls in North America, but I think you can also order them. Ooh, look at this one. I got a beholder. This one almost looks like a Christmas beholder with the red and green eyes, huh? Pretty cool. All right, well, that's going in onto my bag. I like that one. But no Demogorgon yet. Hold on, let me see what we get here. Ba-ba-ba. Ooh, I like this lady. She's an elf archer. I like that. She's got a cool looking braid. I can't wait to throw this on there. You've got a Gorgon Smooner for a beholder. I'll trade you. All right, last one that I'm going to open up here. Hopefully it's the Demogorgon, but if not, I'm just going to have to keep drawing for it. No, it's not, but it's an owlbear. Hello, cute little owlbearly. Owlbearly. I just want to see the butt there. What does an owlbear butt look like? Well, it looks like that, apparently. I'm not sure that's anatomically correct, but, you know, we take what we can get. These are a little bit squishy and tons of fun. I like that the claws came out really good on this owlbear. We were just joking in the office because we were talking about scratch and sniff stickers that we might want to make. Preview for some swag that might be coming out there. But the scratch and sniff, we were like, well, what should the owlbear one smell like? And we're like, this is Shelly Mazanoble. She said, fried chicken. That's what the owlbears smell like. Not what they smell like cooked. Maybe they just smell like fried chicken all the time. Who's to say? But again, yeah, these bag clips are available from a company called Monogram. They're, like I said, they're in Hot Topics in malls, and you can purchase them there. I don't think they're too expensive, and they're really sweet. All right, everybody, I am going to take off. You should all make sure to watch everything that's going on here on the D&D Twitch channel. Tomorrow, we have got Roll20 Presents Jace Beleren Must Die. That starts at 9 a.m., goes 4 hours until 1 p.m. That is with some very talented folks. Then Dragon Plus with Bart Carroll will be happening at 1 p.m. And then Heroes of the Veil is at 2. That's all tomorrow. There's no Actors Incorporated C Team tomorrow. Just as an FYI, they're traveling to PAX Australia. But then we will return with Dragon Friends Go to Hell. That is at 2 a.m. on Thursday. So if you're a night owl bear, if you're a night owl bear here on these time zones, you can totally watch the Dragon Friends play live from 2 to 4 a.m. on Thursday mornings. Or those of you in different time zones, in the Australian APAC time zones there, Asia Pacific, you can watch live Dragon Friends. They do good stuff. We'll also be hosting D&D Beyond a Dev Update at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, as well as Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. They have a new channel that's devoted to everything that's going on from Codename Entertainment, and that is called twitch.tv/CNE Games. They will be playing Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms from that channel at 1 p.m. on Thursdays. There's no Welch's Games Juice because Kate Welch is traveling to PAX Australia, so don't look for that at 3 p.m. on Thursday. Critical Role will be hosting again at 7 p.m. on Thursday. Dragon Talk, as I said, is back on Friday. Me and Shelly are talking to Rhett Miller from Old 97s. I can't wait to pick his brain about being a musician and playing Dungeons & Dragons while he's on tour, as well as a ton of other fun stuff. Binwin Plays is actually doing something a little bit different this week. Scott and Corey will be playing the Eye of the Beholder game. Yeah, the old school 1991 gold box Eye of the Beholder video game. I can't wait to see how they pull that off and make it super entertaining, as they always do. And then, of course, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, Tales from the Mists. You should watch. There is a lot of amazing things happening, including the third arc guest player of Goldie Chan will be joining. So I can't wait for that. There's a lot going on this weekend as well. On Saturday at 11:30, we've got the Geeks Table playing Descent into Avernus. Trace Albus, I believe we're hosting at 4 p.m., although they just finished their season, so I'm not sure about that. Rivals is off this week, but Realm Smith WizKids, if their thing is all working out, will be at 2 p.m. And then, of course, we'll be hosting D4 at 4 p.m. Pacific Time on Sunday before we start it all again on Monday. for some fun things going on here on twitch.tv/DND. You can follow me. I'm at Greg Tito on Twitter. On Instagram, I'm at Greg_Tito. I've been posting a lot of fun stuff there, including D&D related things, as well as, some fun stuff from my travels. So take a look. And I can't wait to follow you there. If you ever want to get in touch with me, Twitter is definitely the best way. So I'll see you, and thank you everyone for watching. We love everyone in the D&D community, especially those who come from all over the world. I mentioned Luca, I mentioned Brazil. There's a lot of fun stuff going for everyone for getting more folks to play this game, making it as accessible as possible, and we'll be doing more work about that going forward. And I can't wait to be here on D&D News telling you all about it going forward. So thank you to you. Thank you to being a big part of this D&D community, this worldwide D&D community. And I just want to give you a salute. You do good stuff, D&D. All right. I will see you on the flip side. And vaya con Dios.